Good afternoon, everyone. It's time for Strat-O-Matic Baseball. Steve Aquilon here. Today, it's the Chicago Cubs at the Los Angeles Dodgers, the second of a three-game set. Dodgers won the opener in extra innings, a tense back-and-forth battle, decided on a Wills liner down to first base that Ernie Banks couldn't handle. Today we've got two lefties, Bob Henley for the Cubs, Claude Osteen for the Dodgers. Bob Henley is best remembered as the losing pitcher in Sandy Koufax's perfect game. That's right, he allowed one hit that night, and the lone run scored on a walk, a sacrifice bunt, a stolen base, and an error. For Henley, that was the best game of his career. Unfortunately for him, his opponent was just a little bit better. Osteen, pitching for the Dodgers, had a 2.85 ERA that year in 38 starts. Henley wasn't bad at all in 66 either, with a 3.91, worked only 90 innings. So there's your matchup, starting pitching matchup that is, two left-handers. We'll get to the lineups here in just a second. I'm having some tea. As I say, Aquilon, not my real last name, but boy, I've certainly been living up to it the last 2 weeks plus. Okay, here's the lineups for today's ball game. For the Cubs, Carl Warwick will play center field and bat leadoff. He's represented here by the nameless card. Glenn Beckert will play second base and hit second. Billy Williams in right field bats third. Ron Santo will be at third and bat cleanup. John Boccabella plays left field today and hits fifth. Ernie Banks bats sixth, plays first base. Randy Hundley will do the catching and bat seventh. Don Kessinger, the shortstop, hits eighth. Bob Henley hits ninth. For the Dodgers, Maury Wills at shortstop will bat leadoff. Wes Parker plays first base and hits second. Lou Johnson will be in right field today, hitting third. And Jim Lefevre, the third baseman, moves up into the cleanup spot. Tommy Davis gets a start in left field and bats fifth. Ron Fairley will be in center field today, Willie Davis getting the day off. Fairley will bat sixth. Jeff Torborg does the catching and bats seventh. Nate Oliver, the second baseman, hits eighth. And, of course, Osteen batting ninth. So we're about ready to get underway here. Still trying to get my voice in full throttle or full throat. 2+ weeks of this crud. Okay, anyway, the umpire says play ball. Just a little over 32,000 were in the ballpark on this April 16th, 1966. With Tom Gorman calling the balls and strikes, he says play ball. Warwick stands in, a right-handed hitter, weak, 1 through 13 runner. Osteen gets the sign from Torborg. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. On a 1-9, Warwick pops up left side. Wills drifts over and makes the play. One down. And that'll bring up Glenn Beckert, the second baseman, right-handed hitter. Osteen into the windup. The pitch to Beckert on a 3-4. That's going to be a base hit into the hole past third base for a single. So a one-out single for Beckert, 3-4. Single to 13 roll is an 11. Beckert an asterisk 16 will have to be held on. Osteen a -1, Torborg a -1. So you've got 2 and 2 for the hold. That makes him a 1 through 12. So he'll be planted at first as Billy Williams steps in. Williams, a Hall of Famer. Left-handed batter, a lot of power. Osteen from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Williams now on a 6-9. That's a pop-up, right side infield fly rule. Oliver's there. He puts it away, and that's 2 down. 2 outs, a runner on first, and here's Ron Santo, another Hall of Famer. Took him a while to get in, but he finally did, and it was well deserved. And here's the pitch from Osteen. 2-3 to the left-hander. That's a tapper down to third. Lefevre's there. He's got it and throws him out. So for the Cubs, no runs to hit, they leave him in. The end of half an inning. Cubs nothing, Dodgers coming to bat. Henley getting loose now. Getting ready to warm up for the first inning. Maury Wills to lead things off. Wills a switch hitter. He'll be batting righty against Henley. Okay, Henley's set now. Wills stands in from the right side. Henley gets the sign from Hundley. And here's the pitch. 6-4 to the right-hander. That's going to be a grounder to third base X. That's going to be Santo, a 1E27. So a tough chance down to third. Here's the roll on the play. On a 14, that's the error frequency. 27, we're looking for a roll of a 6. And Santo can't come up with it. That's going to be an error. That's off his glove. That's going to be an E1. So that'll be scored as an E5, error to third base. Chicago an error, and Wills is aboard. Wills will be held on. Henley with a terrible hold, a +9. Hundley a 0. So that makes Wills a 20. The most it can be is 19. Held on, he'll be a 17. And Parker steps in now, another switch hitter batting right. Henley, a throw over to first, Wills back to the bag. Henley comes to the plate. Wills is going to try to establish the lead, 2 through 10 and a 12, and he's got the 12, and here he goes, 1-17. Hundley's throw down, and Wills has stolen it. So stolen base, Maury Wills. And these Dodgers, without a big offense, they have to try to generate runs. This is exactly how they did it. And here comes Wes Parker now. Parker, well, actually, he's already seen one pitch. Here's Henley's next pitch to Parker. On a 4-9 to the right-hander. That's a deep fly ball to left field. Bacabella going back. That's off the wall for a double. Wills comes home easily on an RBI double by Wes Parker, and it's 1-0. And as Parker's card goes flying, let's look at that again. 4-9, righty, homer to 12, it's a 15. So that is an RBI double for Parker. Parker in scoring position now, and here's Lou Johnson. Henley, a glance at Parker. Now comes Sad. Here's the pitch to Johnson. On a 1-5 against the left-hander. Grounder down to short. That'll be Kessinger. He goes across in time, and Parker will advance to third on the throw. So 1 down, a runner at third. 1-0 Dodgers. The Cubs are going to pull the infield in early here. They're going to try to cut off that run. Figures to be a low-scoring game. They don't want to give up another one. Here's Lefevre, another switch hitter, batting righty against Henley. Here's the pitch. With the infield in, it's a 5-10 grounder to shortstop X. That's Kessinger. Kessinger's a 2E40. Sure-handed shortstop, but he made quite a few errors that year. Here's the roll on the play, a 3 on a 2, and Kessinger makes a diving play behind the bag. He's up with it, throws across in time, and the runner will have to hold. Let's double check that. Ground ball C, runner on third holds. Okay, so that prevented the infield in, saved a run right there. That'll be scored 6-3X. Runner holds, and there's 2 down. So the infield in prevents the Dodgers from scoring a second run this inning. And here's Tommy Davis with 2 away. Henley looks in to get his sign. Here's the pitch to Davis now on a 1-6. That's going to be ripped into the left center gap. That's down. Davis rounding first. Parker will score easily, and Tommy Davis is in second with a double. And it's 2-0. So RBI double from Davis. Let's look at that again. 1-6 double to 7. The roll is a 2. So Tommy Davis RBI double. 2-0 LA, and here's Fairley. Here's Henley's pitch to Fairley. Lefty on lefty now on a 5-5. Swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Fairley on strikes, and that will retire the side. But the Dodgers jump out early with 2 runs. On 2 hits, they leave a man. There was an error. So both of those runs are unearned, in fact. And at the end of an inning, it's Dodgers 2, Cubs nothing. The Cubs come into this game with an 0-4 record. They got swept by the Giants 3 games in their opening series, in which they scored a grand total of 1 run in the 3 games, then lost that crazy extra inning game to the Dodgers in the first game of this series. So as we move along to the second now, well, hey, Rick, good afternoon to you, sir, and welcome. Hope your day is going well. Osteen's going to be facing Bacabella, Banks, and Hundley here in the second. Bacabella, I remember more as a catcher, but he's playing left field today, and he'll be leading things off here in the second as Osteen comes set, the windup, and the pitch. That's going to be a 6-7 to the righty. That's a grounder to second base X. That'll be Nate Oliver. Oliver, a 2E21. So that's behind the bag. Oliver ranging over. On a 10, that's the error range. On a 21, we're looking for an 8. And Oliver, he's got it behind the bag. Whirls and throws in time. And there's 1 away. So a fine play by Nate Oliver. And that'll bring up Ernie Banks. Banks, of course, a Hall of Fame ball player. Osteen winds and deals. And the pitch to Banks is a 6-7 against the righty at second base X again. This one's into the hole between first and second. Oliver moves to plug it up, and on a 15, he's got it. Throws across to Parker in time, and there's 2 away. So 2 nice plays by Nate Oliver here in the second, and there's 2 down. And here's Randy Hundley, the catcher, right-handed hitter. Osteen gets the side from Torborg, and here's the pitch to Hundley. That's going to be a 2-11 against the lefty. Hundley goes the opposite way and lines a base hit into right field. So a 2-out single for Randy Hundley. No threat to run, of course, as is the case with most catchers. And Don Kessinger will be the hitter. Kessinger, a switch hitter. He'll be batting right against Osteen. Osteen, a glance at Hundley, and now from the stretch, the pitch to Kessinger. It's going to be a 2-12 against the lefty. Tapper down to third. Lefevre charging. He's got it and throws him out. So for the Cubs, no runs a hit. They leave a man. We go to the bottom of the second. Still 2-0 Los Angeles. Bob Henley loosening up for the bottom of the second here. Have some decaf tea going today. A little chamomile with lemon and honey. Still trying to shake that bronchial crud. Okay, bottom of the second. It's the bottom of the order for Los Angeles. Torborg, Oliver, and Osteen. Henley, the lefty, ready to work here as he winds and deals. And here's the pitch to Torborg. On a 3-6, ground ball down to third. Santo, ranging to his left, scoops, plants, and throws in time. Santo, very smooth down there at third base, retires Torborg easily on that ground ball. And here's Nate Oliver, the second baseman. Light hitter. Decent against left-handed pitching, though. But he's mostly in there for his defense. And here's Henley's pitch to Oliver. On a 2-7, that's a tapper down to short. That'll be Kessinger. He's got it and throws him out, and quickly there's 2 away here in the second. And that'll bring up Osteen. Osteen, a left-handed hitter. He does have end power. A 3 hitters card. And here's Hendley's pitch on a 5-4 to the lefty. Catcher's card X. That's going to be Hundley. Hundley's a 2E6. And here is the roll on the play. On a 4, that will be a pop out to the catcher X. So pop up, Hundley, that's going to be tough. Hundley puts it away, 2X, and a 1-2-3 inning for Hendley. Hendley pitching to Hundley. I'm bound to screw that up at some point. Oh, brother. Okay, Osteen. We move along to the third. Osteen prepares to pitch to Hendley, and then back to the top of the order. Okay, Osteen's set now. Hendley, a right-handed batter. Osteen gets the sign, the windup. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-8, swung on and missed strike 3. Osteen makes short order of Hendley. And this Hundley thing has really gotten into my head. And here's Carl Warwick, right-handed batter. Osteen, the windup. The pitch to Warwick on the 3-3. A comebacker. Osteen's got it. Flips to Parker, and there's 2 down. And here's Glenn Beckert now. Beckert singled in the first inning. Osteen the sign, the windup, and the pitch to Beckert. On a 1-8, Beckert lines a base hit into right field. So a 2-out single for Beckert. Beckert an asterisk 16, he'll have to be held on. That'll make him a 12 as Billy Williams steps in. Williams popped out to second in the first inning. As Osteen comes set, here's the pitch from the stretch to Billy Williams. On a 2-4, it's a fly ball to left, playable. Tommy Davis is there. He's got it, and that will retire the side. So no runs, a hit, 1 left for Chicago. We go to the bottom of the third, still 2-0. And here's Hendley now. Hendley warming up to Hundley. And the Dodgers will have the top of the order, Wills, Parker, and Johnson. Wills reached on an error in the first innings, promptly stole second, and came around to score. Hendley gets the sign from Hundley, and here's the pitch to Wills. On a 3-7, a tapper down to third. Santos scoops it up, throws just in time. Right in Will's good column, he found the 3-7. And that'll go as a 5-3, and there's 1 away. And here's Wes Parker now. Parker doubled in a run in the first. Batting right-handed here against Hendley, and here's the pitch. On a 2-7, swung on and missed strike 3. And Hendley fans Parker. That's his second strikeout of the game. And that'll bring up Lou Johnson with 2 down. Okay, Lou Johnson, or Sweet Lou as he was sometimes known. Hendley the sign, and the windup and the pitch to Johnson. On a 1-12, pop-up, left side, Kessinger calling. He's there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Hendley. So Hendley settled down now, retired the last 7 he's faced, and to the end of 3 complete. Dodgers 2, Cubs nothing. Osteen will be facing Santo, Bacabella, and Banks here in the 4th. Okay, we're set to go to the 4th now. Santo stepping in from the right side, of course. Osteen gets the sign from Torborg. Here's the windup and the pitch. On a 5-6, that's a fly ball to left field. That's Tommy Davis ranging over. He's got it. And there's one down. And here's John Bacabella playing left field today. Osteen, the pitch to Bacabella. A 2-7 to the left-hander. That's a tapper down to short. Will's charging. He's got it. Throws on the run in time. And there's 2 away. So Bacabella grounds out to short. And with 2 down, Ernie Banks will be coming to bat. Osteen getting his sign now. The windup, the pitch to Banks. On a 6-4, that's going to be a grounder to short X. That's Will's. Will's a 3E27. Grounder into the hole on an 18. Wills is there to plug it up, plants and throws in time. And that will retire the side. That'll go 6-3X. 1-2-3 inning for Osteen. And we go to the bottom of the 4th, still 2-0 Dodgers. Bob Henley, who settled down nicely after the first inning, gets ready to go to work here, and the batters will be Lefevre, Davis, and Fairley. In the bottom of the 4th, Lefevre, switch hitter, batting right-handed. Henley, the windup and the pitch. That's on a 2-8. High fly ball deep to left field. Back goes Bacabella to the track. That's gone. A deep home run for Jim Lefevre. That's way up into the bleachers. And it's 3-0. Let's look at that again. 2-8 lefty. No doubt about it. Second row bleacher shot there for Lefevre, and it's 3-0. So Lefevre, a prodigious home run, and here's Tommy Davis. Davis was a good hitter. Who knows what his career might have been without the injuries. Won a couple of batting titles. Was the only Dodger to have 150 RBIs. That was 1962. I believe he still has the team record. He hit .313 this year in about halftime play. And here's the pitch from Henry to Tommy Davis, 5'9", grounder to shortstop X. That's Kessinger. Kessinger a 2E40. Kessinger into the hole on a 13, plants and makes the throw just in time. Fine play by Kessinger to retire Davis. That'll go 6-3X, and there's one down. Here's Ron Fairley now. Fairley struck out in the first inning. Henley gets the sign from Hundley, the windup and the pitch to Fairley. On a 2-4, Fairley. A deep fly ball to right field. Back goes Williams to the track, and that's going to be off the wall, and Fairley's in with a stand-up double. So a double for Fairley. Let's look at that again. 2-4 lefty. Homer to 10. The roll is a 20. So a long stand-up double for Fairley. Just missed getting that one out of here, and here's Torborg now. Henley, a 5 endurance starter. We're only in the 4th. As Henley gets ready to go to work on Torborg, here's the pitch. A 2-7, swung on and missed strike 3. Down goes Torborg on strikes, and that's the second out of the inning. If Torborg were playing today, they'd have his own little part of the concession stands, and you'd probably walk up there and order a Torburger. Okay, sorry, I can't resist sometimes. Here's Nate Oliver now, light-hitting second baseman, 0 for 1 today. Henley deals, it's a 5-4, catcher's card X, that's Hundley. Hundley a 2E6, fine defensive catcher. Here's the roll on the play. On an 8, that's going to be a pop-up, playable. Hundley's got it, and that will retire the side. So the Dodgers get a run on 2 hits, the home run by Jim Lefevre, and at the end of 4 complete, lead 3-0. Osteen in complete command so far here as we move along to the top of the fifth. He's only allowed 3 hits. He'll be facing the bottom of the Cub lineup, Hundley, Kessinger, and Hendley. Osteen, the sign from Torborg. Here's the windup and the pitch. That's going to be a 2-8. Ground ball down to third base. That's Lefevre. He's got it and throws him out. And there's the first out of the inning. And here's Kessinger. Kessinger grounded out to third in the second inning. Batting right-handed, Osteen the windup. Pitch to Kessinger is a 1-11, and Kessinger, a ground ball on the left side, that's through into left field for a base hit. So Kessinger, a 1-out single. He's got good speed. He'll have to be held on. Let's check Henley's bunting. He's a D. He's a 3N hitter. Well, that's tough. He's an N. Osteen, though, is a ground ball pitcher. He's going to try to lay it down. So here's the sacrifice attempt on a D. The roll is a 5. And a perfect sacrifice bunt by Hendley advances the runner. We're going to score that 1-3. You could really put anything in there. Sacrifice hit Hendley. And that will move Kessinger into second base, but there are 2 outs now, and here comes Warwick. Carl Warwick, right-handed batter, represented by the nameless card. He's 0 for 2 today. As Osteen delivers, pitch to Warwick, a 1-3, and he draws the walk. So Osteen loses Warwick. And there's first and second and 2 away, and here's Beckert, who's 2 for 2 so far today. So Osteen in a little jam for the first time this afternoon. Torborg flashing some signs. He comes set now, and here's the pitch to Beckert. On a 3-6, that's a grounder, 2-hopper down to third. Lefevre comes in on it, makes the play, and throws him out. That will retire the side. No runs a hit, 2 left on. There was a walk. And we go to the bottom of the fifth, 3-0 Los Angeles. As Hendley gets ready to work, Osteen will be leading it off for Los Angeles. Osteen, the pitcher, again a lefty with N power. And here's the pitch. Lefty on lefty now, a 5-9 is going to be a grounder to short X. That's Kessinger again. He's been busy down there today. He's a 2E40. And here's the roll on the play. That's an 18, and Kessinger into the hole, makes the stop, and throws him out. Fairly routinely. Osteen not a good runner. And that's 1 away. Back to the top of the order. It'll be Maury Wills. Wills 0 for 2. Reached on an error in the first and stole second, came around to score. Here's Henley's pitch. It's going to be a 5-9 to the right-hander. That's shortstop X again. Like I say, Kessinger's been busy. That's a 2E40. And on an 8, that'll go to the error range. So we're looking at a 6, and he can't come up with that one, and that's going to be an error. So error on Kessinger. And that's twice now Wills has reached on error, perhaps forcing the players to rush defensively a little bit with his speed. And he'll be held on. Hendley with a terrible hold. He's a 17 if he can get it. 2 through 10 and 12. He's going to try for the lead. On an 8, he's got it. Here goes Wills. Here's Hundley's throw, and he's in there. Wills has stolen another one. So that's 2 stolen bases for Maury Wills in this game. And with 1 away, Wes Parker will be the batter. The Cubs are going to get somebody up in the pen. Bill Fall, the right-hander, will get up. Okay, Fall getting loose. Henley set to pitch to Parker here. Runner on second, one down. And here's the pitch to West Parker. That's a 5-11 to the righty. Fly to left field X. That is Bacabella, a 4E6. Okay, low on the errors, but a 4. This could be interesting. Here's the roll on the play on a 20. Oh my God, will you look at that? He makes the catch, fly ball B. Wills could tag up and go to third. Let me check how that works again. All right, running rating, right fielder's arm. Oh, that's to right field only. So no, he can't tag up to left field. So that'll be a fly ball B. That's the only, no it isn't. Those two are also outs. Anyway, he makes the play. So that's gonna go 7X. Bacabella makes the catch and there's 2 down. And it'll be up to Lou Johnson. Will still on second. Takes his lead. Here's the pitch to Johnson on a 6-10. Ball 4, he loses him. So a walk to Johnson. First and second. And here's Lefevre, who hit a home run in his last at bat. And here's the pitch from Henley. That's a 2-6. That's going to be a base hit into center field for Lefevre. Wills can try to score on that. The center fielder is Warwick, a 0. Wills, a 17 with 2 outs and 19. He's coming. They're going to concede that and keep Johnson at second base. So that will be an RBI single for Lefevre, and it's 4-0. And with that, here comes Leo DeRocher, and he's seen enough. He's got the hook, and that'll be all for Henley. So Henley, 4 2/3. Only allowed 5 hits, not too bad. He was victimized by his defense a little bit. And hey, Dan Douglas, welcome. Glad you could join us. Hope your day's going well. Henley walked 1. There were a couple errors behind him. He struck out 3. He's allowed 4 runs, but the runners on first and second are still his responsibility. And here's Bill Fall now, righty. 5.08 in 51 innings. He pitched in this game in real life. And Tommy Davis will be the hitter. First and second, 2 down. Fall ready to work now. Here's Davis standing in from the right side, and here's the pitch from Fall. 1-9. Grounder to third. That's Santo. Easy play for Ron Santo, and he throws him out, and that'll do it. So for the Dodgers, another run on 1 hit. Sure, that was an out error, so it's another unearned run. 3 of the Dodgers' 4 runs are unearned. So Henley really pitched in tough luck today. He only allowed 1 earned run out of the 4. In any case, Fall came on to retire Davis to end the inning, and after 5 complete, it's 4-0 LA. And Lefevre is an RBI machine today. Amen to that. 2 of the 4. And Osteen sailing along in complete control so far. He'll be facing the heart of the Cubs order, however. Williams, Santo, and Bacabella, if anyone gets on, Ernie Banks, as we move along to the 6th. Osteen, the sign from Torborg. Here's the windup and the pitch to Williams. On a 1-8, grounder down to first. That's Parker. He's got it wide of the bag, flips to Osteen covering, and there's one down. And here's Ron Santo, 0 for 2 today. Ron Santo, another favorite of mine from my youth. And here's the pitch from Osteen. 6-10 to the right-hander. That's a grounder down to third. Lefevre's there. He's got it and throws him out. And here's Bacabella. Bacabella 0 for 2. Osteen gets his sign. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 3-8 against the left-hander. A liner speared by Wills. Oh my. So Bacabella lined it right into the glove of Wills. That'll retire the side. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Claude Osteen. Osteen sailing along now with 6 scoreless, and we go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-0 LA. Bill Fall, the righty, getting loose here. He came on in relief of Hendley last inning. Got the last out. He'll be looking at Fairley, Torborg, and Oliver here in the bottom of the 6th. Okay, Fall ready to work now. Fairley, the lefty. Fall, the windup and the pitch. 6-7 to the left-hander. Swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Fairley on strikes. And here's Torborg. Jeff Torborg 0 for 2 today. And here's the pitch from Fall. That's going to be a 4-6. Swung on and missed strike 3. And Fall's got some mustard on it. I got to look at this for a second. 32 Ks in 51 innings. Not anything overwhelmingly spectacular. But he struck out 2 here in the 6th, and now it's up to Nate Oliver. As Fall's ready, the windup and the pitch to the light-hitting Oliver, a 3-2. And Oliver hits one down the right field line. That's a fair ball. That's going to be down. Williams gets it. Oliver around second, and he'll be in there with a double. So just as I say the light-hitting Oliver, he comes through with a 2-out double, and that'll bring up Osteen. Osteen, an N hitter, 3 pitchers hitting card, left-handed batter. Here's the pitch from Fall on 2-5, swung on and missed strike 3, and Fall strikes out the side in the 6th. There was a hit in there and a man left. And at the end of 6 complete, it's Los Angeles 4, Chicago nothing. Osteen getting ready to work here in the 7th. It'll be Banks, Hundley, and Kessinger. Okay, Ernie Banks to lead things off. Cubs trying to get something going. They only have 4 hits today, all singles. Osteen winds and deals on a 3-2. Banks, a base hit up the middle in the center, and that's a leadoff single for Banks. Three-two single. And that'll bring up Hundley. Osteen, a 6-inning endurance, and we are in the 7th. He's shown no signs of fatigue to this point. You never know, though. Osteen from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Hundley. On a 4-10, the righty grounder down to third. That's going to be Lefevre. He throws down to Oliver. Back to first, not in time. That'll be a force play. That'll go 5-4. Banks forced. And Hundley's on first base now with 1 away. And Kessinger will be the hitter. Kessinger 1 for 2. Osteen from the stretch. Here's his pitch to Kessinger. That's a 5-5. Ball 4, he loses him. And Osteen in a jam now here in the 7th. Hundley goes down to second base, and there'll be activity in the Los Angeles pen. Cubs have switch pitcher, right. Bob Miller will get up in the Los Angeles pen. And here's Kessinger now batting right-handed, first and second, one away. Osteen from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Kessinger on a 4-7. He struck him out. Sorry, that's not Kessinger. That's... Oh, God, I effed that up. That's Fall. We're going to have a hitter for Fall. So that we're going to avoid that roll. That does not count. Sorry, Claude, you don't get the strikeout. But in fairness to Chicago, I have to do it this way. So my apologies. First and second, one out, and we will have a hitter for Fall. Fall worked 1 1/3. Bill Hands getting loose for Chicago. He'll be coming in. Fall allowed no hits, no walks, struck out 3. Now we need a hitter. And that's going to be Harvey Keene. So pinch hitting for Fall, Harvey Keene. Okay, so Osteen ready to work here. First and second, one out. And here's the pitch to Keene on a 5-4. That's catcher's card X. That's going to be Torborg. He's a 3E7. Here's the roll on the play. On a 10, that's to the error range. So we've got a roll of a 7 on an E7. And that's going to be a grounder. Torborg's on that. Throws down to first is his only play, and both runners will advance. So that'll go 2-3. Kessinger to second, Hundley to third, and there's 2 away now. And here's Warwick. So Osteen trying to get out of this now. Miller still warming. From the stretch, here's the pitch to Warwick. On a 2-10, that's going to be a base hit into center field. That's an open single. That'll drive in at least 1. Hundley will score. Kessinger can try to score. To center field, that's going to be fairly a 0. Kessinger a 15, 2 out, 17. Here comes Kessinger. Here's the relay to the plate, and he's in there. 2 RBI single for Carl Warwick, and it's a 4-2 ball game. And with that, here comes Walter Alston, and that's going to be it for Osteen. So Osteen goes 6 2/3 today. Cruised for 6, 4 hits, 6 hits altogether allowed. 4 hits in the first 6 innings, I meant, and then 2 more here in the 7th. He walked 2 and struck out just the 1. Osteen was not a strikeout pitcher. Yep, just the 1. 2 runs allowed so far, but the runner on first is his responsibility, and Bob Miller is ready. He's going to be coming in now to face Glenn Beckert with 2 down and a runner on first. Miller a 2.77 ERA and 84 innings of work in the real life season. And here's Beckert. Miller getting ready to work now. And greetings, Philip. How are you doing, sir? Glad you could join us. Hope your Wednesday evening is going well. Here's Beckert now. Runner on first, 2 down. Miller from the stretch on a 2-5. That's going to be into the gap. That's rattling around in center. Fairley can't get to it. Warwick around to score, and Beckert's into third with a triple. And it's 4-3, and the tying run's on third base. Holy cow, Beckert. Let's look at that again. 2-5. Right-hander, Miller, triple to 8. It is a 5, absolutely. Beckert, an RBI triple, and it's 4-3. So Beckert, the tying run, standing at third. And here's Billy Williams now. And boy, that's a tough spot, isn't it? Well, they're going to pitch to him. Miller, the windup in the pitch to Billy Williams is a 6-7, and ball 4, he loses him. Well, they're probably pitching around him. I was thinking of putting him on anyway. So first and third, 2 down, and here's Santo. Santo 0 for 3 today. Cubs have plated 3 here in the 7th to make it a 4-3 ball game with runners at the corners and 2 away. Here's Ron Santo, and here's the pitch from Bob Miller. On a 3-9, he draws the walk, and the bases are loaded. Oh, my goodness. Holy cow, and the Cubs are going to bat around here in the 7th as John Bacabella comes to the plate. 4-3 Dodgers, top of the 7th. Bases loaded, 2 away. Bob Miller to John Bacabella, and here is the pitch. On a 4-9. That's a deep fly ball to left field. Back goes Davis to the track and makes the catch on the track to retire the side. Oh my God, would you just look at that. 4-9. Homer to 4. The roll's an 8. And that'll do it. But the Cubs come up with 3 on 3 hits, and they leave the bases loaded. And we go to the bottom of the 7th, 4-3 Los Angeles. And now we got a ball game. Fall was pinch hit for. And Bill Hands will come on. Hands, another righty, 4.58 ERA in 159 innings of starting and relief that season. And he'll come on to face the top of the Dodger lineup here in the bottom of the 7th. Wills, Parker, and Lou Johnson. So Dodgers and Cubs in another tight one, second game of the series. Remember, the first one went extra innings. Hands ready to work now, gets the sign from Hundley, and here's the pitch to Wills. On a 1-8, Wills, base hit into right field, a leadoff single for Wills. So it won't be quite as easy for Wills to steal this time now that Hendley's out of the game. He will be held on. Hands and Hundley both zeros. That would make him a 13. They're going to let Wes Parker take a poke at that right side first. Parker turns around and bats lefty now against Hands. Hands from the stretch. And here's the pitch to Parker. On a 3-5. Ball 4, he loses him. So Parker draws the walk. And it's first and second and nobody out. And here's Johnson. Johnson, a B bunter. Possibly thinking bunt here in the bottom of the 7th for the Dodgers. Hands come set. And Johnson's going to try to lay it down. That's a 7 on a B. The only play for Hands is to first, and both runners advance on a perfectly executed sack by Lou Johnson. So the Dodgers playing small ball here in the 7th. Wills to third, Parker to second. And with 1 away, Jim Lefevre will be the batter. The Fever's driven in 2 runs today with a home run and a single. The Cubs will have to play the infield in now. With 1 down, here's Hand's pitch to Lefevre. And on a 1-9, that's a grounder to first base B. Okay, I'm going to have to look at this one. Grounder to first, and they've got Wills off of third base. Throws behind him. Now they've got Wills in a rundown. They tag him out. So Wills is forced. Parker to third. Lefevre to first. So ground ball with the infield in, and the Cubs get the lead man, and boy, is that a big out. That's the second out of the inning. That's going to go 3, we'll call that 3-2. And with 2 away, here's Tommy Davis. Holy cow. So a leadoff single by Wills, followed by a walk. They've yet to score, and here's Tommy Davis with 2 down. Here's the pitch from him. Runners at the corners on a 5-8, fly to center field, playable. Warwick's there, he puts it away, and that'll retire the side. So the Dodgers fail to score on a hit. They leave 2. At the end of 7 complete, it's 4-3, and they're going to do some weird things defensively now. Johnson to left. Tommy Davis will come out of the game. They're going to go for the defense now. Willie Davis will go into that spot and play center field. So he'll be in center where he's a 2E12 -1. Lou Johnson will move from right field to left field. Ron Fairley will move from center field to right field, where he's a 2. So the Dodgers tighten up their outfield defense as we move along to the 8th here. And the Cubs will have Banks, Hundley, and Kessinger. Miller's only worked 1 inning. No, that isn't right. He's only worked 1/3 of an inning. I take that back. My apologies. Okay, so Miller's set to work here in the 8th. 4-3 Dodgers, top of the 8th. Ernie Banks from the right side. Here's Bob Miller, the sign from Torborg. The windup. The pitch to Banks, a 6-7. That's ball 4. He loses him. And Banks is aboard to start the 8th. He represents the tying run. Phil Reagan begins to throw now in the Dodger pen, and here's Randy Hundley. Jeff Torborg out to the mound now, possibly buying some time for Reagan. Okay, they're ready to go now. Miller gets his sign from the stretch. The pitch to Hundley is 6-10. That's a fly to center field shallow. Here comes Willie Davis, still coming. He's there and makes the catch. So Davis, just inserted into the game for defense, makes a fine running catch on the ball by Hundley, and there's 1 away. And here's Kessinger. Kessinger 1 for 2 with a walk today. Miller, he's set now, and from the stretch, here's the pitch to Kessinger. On a 1-10, that's a single to right field. Banks is going to take 3rd on that. And the Cubs have something going here in the 8th. 1st and 3rd, 1 away. And here comes Walter Alston. No, he's not going to pull him yet. He goes back to the dugout. Miller's going to pitch to the pitcher. That's Bill Hands. And the Cubs will have to have a pinch hitter for Hands. So Hands pitched only an inning. Gave up 1 hit, a walk. No strikeouts, no runs. The Dodgers will have Fairleigh, Torborg, Oliver. Don Lee will get loose for the Cubs. And they'll have a pinch hitter for Hands. And that's going to be George Altman, the left-handed hitter. So pinch hitting for the Cubs is Altman. Altman's been starting in left field for the Cubs against right-handed pitching, so this seems like a logical move here. And now here comes Alston, and that'll do it for Miller. So Miller a third there, a third, Miller 2/3. A hit, a walk, no Ks. All 3 charged to Osteen. And here comes Phil Regan, the vulture. Or Reagan. I'm not sure if it's Regan or Reagan, to be honest with you. Let's see if I can get some clarification on that. If you'll bear with me for a moment. Well, I can't find it here. Phil Regan. I guess it's Regan. Nickname the Vulture. Well, we knew that. Okay, Regan coming on. And he was the Vulture that year. 14-1 out of relief with a 1.62 ERA, 21 saves. He was pretty much the man out of the Dodger pen. And he's coming on to face Altman, the pinch hitter. With runners at the corners and 1 down, the Dodgers leading 4-3. Tying run at third, go-ahead run at first. From the stretch, here's Regan's pitch. On a 4-10, ball 4-10, grounder to shortstop X. That's Wills, a 3E27. Left-handed hitter. Okay. 3E27. Here's the roll on the play. On a 15. That's a ground ball B, so that's going to score the tying run. Wills' only play is to second to Oliver. They go back to first, not in time, trying for the double play, and that's going to score Ernie Banks with the tying run. So that'll go 6-4X. That'll be an RBI for Altman. Kessinger is forced. Altman's safe at first, and we've got a tie ball game. Altman no threat to run. Here's Warwick now. 2 down. The pitch from the stretch is a 3-5. Fly to center, playable. There's Willie Davis. He's got it. And that will retire the side, but not before the Cubs tie it up. A run on a hit, they leave a man. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, deadlocked at 4. Hands was pinch hit for. Don Lee is going to come on for the Cubs. Lee, a righty. 4, 8, 6, and 37 innings of relief. And he'll be looking at Fairleigh, Torborg, and Oliver. In the bottom of the 8th inning, all deadlocked at 4. So much like game 1 of the series, another tight one between the Cubs and the Dodgers. Fairleigh steps in from the left side. Lee, the sign from Hundley. Here's the windup. And the pitch to Fairley, a 3-6 against the righty. Tapper down to second base. Beckert, he's got it, and throws him out. So 1 away, and Jeff Torborg will be the hitter. Torborg 0 for 3 today, struck out twice. Here's Lee's pitch on a 2-9. That's going to be a base hit up the middle. Double to 8, but it's a 12, and Torborg will hold with a long single. And let's see what's on the Dodger bench here. Thinking possible pinch runner. They don't really have anyone. They could do a little better than Torborg, but not enough to really make it worthwhile. What they might want to do is hit for Oliver. We've got the old John Kennedy play. I did that last game. That's exactly what's going to happen here. Nate Oliver will give way, and John Roseboro will come on to bat for him. Roseboro might very likely just remain in the game and catch. He's a better catcher than Torborg. Okay, we've got a man on first, 1 away, no threat to run. Here's John Roseboro now pinch hitting. Lee from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Roseboro, a 2-3. That's a grounder down to second. That's going to be 2. Beckert to Kessinger. 2 Banks, double play. So 6-4-3, that'll retire the side. No runs and a hit, nobody left. Roseboro will remain in the game and catch, where he's a 1E4 -3. John Kennedy will be inserted into Torborg's spot. He'll play third base, and Lefevre will slide over to second base. So Kennedy at third, where he's a 1E17. Lefevre, looks like everybody on the team's played a different multiple positions here, except for Wills and Parker. Lefevre at second base is a 3E17. So tie ball game, 4-4, going to the 9th inning. Regan coming out again. For the Cubs, Beckert, Williams, and Santo. Regan gets the sign from Roseboro now, and here's the windup on the pitch. On a 1-9, grounder down to second. That's going to be Lefevre. He's got it, throws to Parker in time. And that'll bring up Billy Williams. 0 for 3 today, Billy. He walked in the 7th. Regan gets his sign, the windup. The pitch to Billy Williams on a 2-11. It's going to be a foul ball, playable on the right side. Wes Parker calling for it. He's got it, and there's 2 down. And with 2 away, Ron Santo will be the batter. Santo also 0 for 3 with a walk. Regan, the windup. The pitch to Santo is a 1-7. That's going to be a base hit up the middle, a 2-out single for Santo. So a 2-out single for Santo. And with a right-hander pitching, let's look at the Cubs bench. Ty Klein is going to hit for Bacabella, and he'll also stay in the game and play left field. Klein, a 2E10+1. An improvement on Bacabella defensively for sure, and he's a left-handed hitter. So here's Klein. Runner on first, 2 out. Reagan from the stretch. The pitch to Klein, a 6-7. Struck him out swinging. Oh my God, down goes Klein. Looking somewhat overmatched here by Reagan. And that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, a man left. Klein, as I mentioned, will stay in the game and play left field. We go to the bottom of the ninth, all knotted up at 4. Holy cow, what a game. The Dodgers, with the pitcher leading off the ninth, they'll have a pinch hitter. So Reagan lasted 1 2/3, pitched very well, gave up a hit, a strikeout. That run charged to Miller. Ron Peronowski begins throwing in the Dodger pen. And they're going to look for a pinch hitter here against Don Lee, the right-hander. And that's going to be Jim Gilliam. So Jim Gilliam on to pinch hit for Reagan. Gilliam a switch hitter. Lee gets the sign from Hundley. Here's the pitch to Gilliam. On a 3-9, pop up right side, infield fly, and there's Becker, and he's got it. Or well, there's no infield fly, I beg your pardon. Pop up to second, and here's Maury Wills. And Lee's ready to go. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch to Wills. On a 2-5. Comebacker, Lee knocks it down, picks it up, and throws to Banks. And quickly, there's 2 away here in the bottom of the ninth. And that'll bring up Wes Parker. Parker will bat left against Lee. As Lee winds and deals. The pitch to Parker on a 1-7. That's a base hit into right field. So a 2-out single for Parker. Parker's aboard with 2 away, and Lou Johnson coming to bat. Parker's a 14 stealer, but not an asterisk. Lee's a -2. Parker will not be held on in this situation, and Lou Johnson's going to hit away. As Lee comes set, here's his pitch from the stretch. On a 5-6, that's a base hit into left. Parker can try to advance on that. He's a 16, -2 to left, 14. +1 for Bacabella, 15. And here he comes. And he's in there. So a base hit, Lou Johnson. Parker, pretty close play at third, but he was safe all the way. And the Dodgers have runners at the corners with 2 outs. And here's Jim Lefevre. So here's the situation. Tie ball game, 4-4. Dodgers have runners on the corners in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, and Jim Lefevre the batter. Lefevre's knocked in 2 runs so far today. Lee from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Lefevre on a 5-6, and that's a base hit into right field, and the Dodgers win the game. Holy crap, Lefevre comes through again. Parker scores, and that'll do it. A clutch RBI single from Lefevre. A run on 3 hits, and there it is, your final 5-4. Another tight one between the Dodgers and the Cubs, and the Cubs dropped to 0-5 on the young season. Oh my goodness. They just can't seem to get a break. Of course, to be fair, they don't have much of a bullpen. I mean, they don't have anybody good down there. So Lee ends up with the loss. Reagan vultures the win. Doesn't that just figure? Thank you, Rick. Glad you enjoyed it. I thought we were going to extras again. So Lee was 1 2/3, 4 hits. No walks, no Ks, the lone run. So for the Dodgers, 5 runs on 10 hits, no errors. The Cubs 4 runs on 8 hits. They made 2 errors. And they allowed 3 unearned runs. So you could say that the Cubs really beat themselves here today. And that's your final from Dodger Stadium here as the Dodgers edge the Cubs 5-4. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Join me tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific. We're going to have the California Angels at the Minnesota Twins. In the meantime, this is Steve with the Aqualung, wishing you all a pleasant good evening. Yes, sir, Lefevre was the player of the game, no doubt about that. I'd have to agree 100% on that one, Rick. Anyway, you guys all take care and have a great evening. Hopefully I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.